Hi Aquarius, welcome to your 2019 forecast, as well as the lunar eclipse that will be happening tonight on January 21st, depending on where you are in the world. So I'm very, very excited to be discussing this lunar eclipse. It's one of the first videos that I'm going to be doing. So I'm very excited to do it because there is a lot of changes that are going to be expected. So let's jump right into it. The first thing that I want to mention is that Aquarius has gone through a lot of changes in the past while. The first thing I want to mention is that you had Mars retrograde in around August 2018 in your sign. So that really slowed things down for you. And it was there for a very, very long time. So there's been some changes, some trials that you've had to deal with. And furthermore, you're also dealing with, if you're an Aquarius rising, I highly, highly recommend that you look at your sun and you look at your moon. Because most of my readings are geared towards rising sign. So if you're an Aquarius rising sign, this video is going to resonate more with you than if you're an Aquarius sun, because your sun sign can be anywhere in your chart. It could be in the 7th house, the 8th house, it could be wherever. So the first thing that I notice about Aquarius rising is that you have a lot of planets in Capricorn, which is in the 12th house. And the 12th house is a very muddy, ambiguous house because it's ruled by Pisces. And anything that involves Pisces, Neptune, it's very dreamy and elusive, and it's not clear all the time because it's kind of like the spiritual world, right? So things are very hard to understand in terms of that house. That house also rules prisons, it rules hospitals, it rules institutions. So psychiatric wards and stuff like that. So the key here is that Aquarius is going through a lot of changes, and because of the recent the lunar nods in Leo and Aquarius, there's been a lot of upheavals and changes in perhaps a business that you've started. There's been a lot of changes, uncertainty, relationships, and stuff like that. So the good thing is that is moving out of the equation now for 2019. And the lunar nodes are moving into your 12th and 6th house, which is, like I said, the 12th house rules prisons and hospitals and the spiritual world. And the 6th house is ruled by Virgo, which is your health and your well-being and your day-to-day work that you would be doing. Not your career, but your day-to-day work that you'd be doing. So with that being said, the lunar eclipse that's going to be happening right now is going to be at 0 degrees Leo and 0 degrees Aquarius. So depending on where your sun is, if your sun hits on that, you're going to be feeling it the most. In this case, the moon in Leo is all by itself. A lot of the planets are on the other side, so that could definitely be working for you in your favor. One of the things that I want to mention, which is a theme that's going to be happening for Aquarius and for Leo and Scorpio, is that Uranus is going to be transiting your 4th house. So the previous transit that you had with Uranus was affecting your 3rd house, which was communication, neighbors, siblings. So there could have been a lot of changes with neighbors and siblings and communication. Now, the main thing that I looked at when I studied the chart was I saw Mercury is in your 12th house right now. So your communication right now might be a little bit off, and it's important that you communicate very clearly what your intentions are in anything that you're doing. So this is going to affect your day-to-day work, because Capricorn is opposite Cancer, which Cancer again represents your day-to-day work every single day, what you're doing, whether it's, I don't know what you do in your day-to-day life for your job, but communication's extremely important. And here's why it's really important. You have Jupiter in your 11th house, and in your 11th house is your dreams, your desires, your wishes, your hopes, and it also deals with the collective community. So it doesn't mean, like, the third house means your neighbors and just the community that's around you. But when we look at the 11th house, we're looking at a larger, broad, people that you're trying to appeal to. And so my point being with that is that, you need to communicate what you want and what you're going to do, and not be in the shadows about what your intentions are and what you want to do. And the reason why I say this is because it's going to benefit you in the long term, because Jupiter is there for a year in the 11th house. So, and I assume that you're working with other people. And if you're working with other people, it's important that you're going to communicate with them, because those people, the people that you might think, like, you might think, oh, well, I don't know if these people are going to offer me what I want, because you might have in your mind, you have a set way of doing things, right? So I don't want to say you're stubborn, but you might have, based on your experience, you have a certain way of doing things. But what's happening now is, because there's a lot of change going on, the universe is asking you to be a little more open-minded about, the potentials of what other people might offer you. Because people that are out there, can really be giving you the benefit of the doubt. Okay, they can. So going back to what I was saying, Jupiter is in your 11th house. So it means that, your expansion and your ability to grow is in other people. Okay, it's not going to be in what you could do for yourself or what you can manifest. It's going to be, how can you utilize other people to get what you want? And sometimes we have to compromise with other people, because if we don't compromise with other people, we're going to lose out on opportunities that we could have had, because we're a little closed-minded. So you might have seen in the past, in like last year, because it was in Scorpio, which is ruler of your 10th house, you could have seen a lot of business coming in and a lot of development in your career and stuff. But now what is happening is you have to fill that business with activity. So, you could have developed a building or a website, or you could have developed something, or paperwork. You could have had all that laid out. But if it's not being used by other people that are coming in, then it's it's a little bit of a waste of time, right? So you have to start inviting people. You have to start being a little more open-minded and negotiating about what are some of the things that are going to benefit you. And going back to Jupiter, we also have, during the lunar eclipse, we have trine Mars. So Mars is currently in your 3rd house. So there is a lot of communication going on. But because Mercury is in your 12th house, it could be muddled, and you could be like in the background, not saying much and just kind of like letting things go. But it's really important that you communicate, and you use this time to communicate, even though it might be something difficult to do. And take your time in communicating. Don't push through communication and just kind of, if you don't get what you want, just kind of end the conversation there. And you have to be able to negotiate. And this is a bit of a more challenging aspect for Aquarius, but it's not always going to be like this. It's going to change, because the only thing that's constant in life is change. So if you're open-minded to change, and you're open to negotiating, you're open to stepping outside of your comfort zone, the challenging aspects that are happening for you will not be that difficult. So it's very important that you're open-minded to that, to those changes that happen for you. And in terms of finance is a big thing for you. Between now and April, you're going to have a lot of planets trining your that are going to be in your second house, that are going to be trining Neptune, which means that you have to maximize when it comes to finances. There's a time, like for Aquarius right now, some people have it different, but for Aquarius, it's very critical that, especially if you're establishing a business right now, you have to know when to strike. You have to know what times work for you, what days work for you, and all of that. For people that already have an established business, it's a totally different story. But for people that are looking to expand their business, or you're starting something new, or just in general looking at your finances, there's going to be a time to spend money, there's going to be a time not to spend money. And the reason why I say that is because Neptune is in your second house. Neptune is very deceptive, and it's a ruler of the 12th house. So there's just a lot of different changes going on for you. But between now and I would say April, you're going to be having a lot of planets transit over your second house. And that's the time that you want to act. That's the time that you want to invest. Like, now is the time to invest. Now, after this lunar eclipse and the dust has settled, now is going to be the time to invest in communicating better with the people you work with, communicating better with potential clients that you can have, communicating better. That's very important. So whatever old habits that you had before that weren't working for you, I highly recommend you reviewing some of the experiences that you've had in the past 18 months, because there's two signs that are really going to be impacted by this lunar eclipse, Leo and Aquarius. And it's not an easy time for those two signs. Those two signs are really having a tough time right now. But the good thing is, like I said in Capricorn's reading, is that it builds character. These challenges and trials that you're having right now are building your character. And if you can really tell yourself, okay, maybe I made a mistake in the past, but I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm going to be a little more open-minded to the suggestions I get from other people, then it will really benefit you a lot. Okay. There could have been some relationship difficulties for Aquarius because of there could be relationship difficulties because of the moon in the 7th house and in your business. So maybe there's something that happened with your partner and you've had a discussion with them to kind of, get rid of whatever's been happening, and you've compromised with them. And that's really good because you have really good planets right now. You have Jupiter in the 11th house, and Jupiter in Sagittarius is great for Aquarius. You're going to also have Mars currently in your 3rd house. So it gives you the ability to speak and be very passionate about what you speak about, but you also have to be clear. Clarity is very important, and not rushing things and taking your time in communicating. Now, another thing that I want to discuss is Uranus, which is moving into your family sector. And Uranus is the planet of surprises, and it's the planet of change. So what that means is that you can be expecting a lot of changes in your immediate family. Perhaps someone's getting married, or somebody might be having children, or you could be starting a family yourself. But there's definitely some changes happening, good or bad, in your family sector, and you have to be prepared for those things, and also be aware this is going to be happening after March. This is a general overview reading. So you're getting a general idea of what to expect, which I'm going to be expanding more on this reading as time goes on, with more videos. So with Uranus, by the way, is your ruler. Uranus is ruled, I believe it's also ruled, Pisces rules it as well too, but it's mainly ruled by Aquarius. And now Aquarius, anywhere Uranus is, anywhere it's aspecting, it's going to affect you 100%. So right now, you're being asked, in your family, in your immediate family, there's being a lot asked of you. There's a lot being asked of you. So, and that's not a bad thing. It could be a really good thing because people are relying on you to be the provider and stuff like that, right? So you're going to be asked, you're going to be relied on more after March 2019 because Uranus is moving into the fourth house. So there could be changes to your home. There could be changes to your family. There could be changes in regards to, reconstructing your home or moving. You might have to suddenly move because something is no longer working where you live. And it could be vice versa, where you could just be planning to move into a new house, So really look out for that. I'm going to be doing more videos on Uranus in the fourth house and really preparing and planning for that, and it's always good to be aware of these things because once you're aware of them, you can plan in advance for the things that are to come. And instead of having them just come into your life and just be, a random happening that you're not sure about, you could be prepared for these things. Okay. Now, we have the North Node in Cancer, which is in your sixth house. So this year and the next 2 years, there's really, and this is very important for Aquarius, stress and health and day-to-day life. It's very important that, you don't overstress yourself with the day-to-day activities that you do and overwork yourself. Because with the North Node there, it's signaling work, but at the same time it's signaling a balance. So everybody needs to balance, not just Aquarius, but this is for everybody, but mainly in your work sector, there needs to be some balance as well too. And there can also be, a potential for you to work with your family as well too, because the North Node is in the sixth house. Okay. Six, yeah, it's in the sixth house. So there's a potential for you to maybe bring a family member in to work with you day to day. You might need that extra support or something like that, and they could be there helping you to accomplish that. Okay. Now, Capricorn, the South Node is in Capricorn, and you have a lot of planets there. So there's a lot of karmic things happening in your life right now. And my suggestion to that is, to be completely honest with you, is to really evaluate some of the past actions that you've done in the past and learn from them. And, some people might not want to do that. Some people might say, oh, well, that's a waste of time, but it's not, because that's going to build character in your life. It's going to build a better understanding for the future so that if you're caught up in a certain situation, you can deal with it. You can handle it a lot better. You can handle something a lot better when you know that it's coming to you. Okay, so there's a lot of karmic activity going on in the 12th house for you, and with Saturn there as well too. So it's asking you to really step back and observe the situation. Sometimes it's good to be on your own and take time out to meditate. Take some time out to meditate and really see the things that you've experienced in the past 18 months, and then push forward. Look at it and say, okay, I learned from that. Now I'm going to move on to something bigger and better. That's the main goal for Aquarius with this lunar eclipse, because there's a lot of change and you're definitely involved in this lunar eclipse. So stay open-minded to other people and their suggestions. Take time out to really connect also with me here, because I can help you, better understand when is the time to invest in something, when is a good time to invest and when is not a good time to invest, because you have very, very challenging aspects in your chart. but it doesn't mean that life is over. It just means that you're building character and you're building strength within yourself so that when the easy aspects come, they're going to be easy peasy for you. And another little sneak peek that I want to tell you about is that in the next 2 years after this nod is has ended in Cancer and Capricorn, you're going to have Jupiter in your sign, which is in 2 years from now. So that means from between now and 2021 or 2022, if you work really hard and diligently and apply the things that I'm telling you, by 2021, 2022, you can really see amazing results and all the abundance will come and fall at your feet. But it requires a little bit of work for you, Aquarius, just because that's the way the planets are right now. But like I said, what you could do is you could utilize the aspects that you have now, which is, you have an ability to communicate well if you're aware that, you slow down in speaking and you're clear. If you're clear and you slow down, you have a lot of energy to do a lot with your communication and attract the right people to your businesses as well. So another thing too is there's a great opportunity to connect with other people and create something with other people. And I think that's what Aquarius is all about, because Aquarius is a very collective sign. It's about the collective. It's about technology. It's about utilizing technology and the technical age. And we live in the technical age. So utilize the technology that you have to your benefit and take advantage of the changes that are coming for you in your life. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. There's a lot of positive things going to be happening for you in the next 2 years, so I highly recommend planning and getting ready for those things. Do not feel like you're in a situation that's not going to change. It will change. It just requires work and consistency. That's another thing I forgot to mention before I end the video. Consistency is so important, Aquarius. If you're consistent in the next 2 years in your business or whatever you're trying to accomplish, you could really, really soar high. You may be on the right track now, and that's great, but you really need to continue being consistent. So with the consistency, with the reaching out to people, having an open mind when it comes to new people that are entering your life, and slowing the communication down and taking your time in the communication, you will really see the results. I promise you, you're going to see amazing results in your life, okay? So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, please like the video and share the video if you can. This helps me to connect better with you. It helps me to give you a better forecast for the following weeks and months to come. And I really look forward to doing more videos for you, okay, Aquarius? Thank you so much for tuning in. Have yourself a wonderful 2019.